Yo guys, I'm Yellow, the Norwegian hardcore PC gamer, and today I figured that we should go through factors that you might want to ignore and factors that you might want to focus on more so if you are playing Deathmatch or CSGO in general and you want to get better and you want to practice and all that lovely stuff. This is per se thus going to be a little bit about stats and RNG, alright? So let's then start with RNG and stuff related to this. Let's say you're playing Deathmatch, maybe you're warming up or practicing and you're grinding, trying to get better as per usual. And what you're meeting is people that are playing pretty wild and crazy. In some case scenarios, and this happened with me a lot more early on when I wasn't really that used to CSGO. What happened was that I got agitated and annoyed because of the matter of fact that people are just playing really disregarding RNG. And what I mean is that they're going for shots that are so silly they should not be able to depend on getting kills in this scenario, but they are still getting it. For example, no-scoping people up close. The shot with the AWP is incredibly random, but there is some sort of logic to it, which I might cover in the future if my new Windows installation here won't fuck up on me again. But yeah, the gist of it is that it's annoying to get killed by somebody that aren't like half trying to kill you, but it's even worse when they're going for crazy shots that just you're fucked, and it's so crazy because like they shouldn't even be able to land a shot, but they're still doing it. And the same kind of sort of goes in some scenarios also with the Mag 7 or any shotgun really. If they're able to land a perfect shot on you, you're pretty much fucked. And so yeah, well, what can you really do? And even more so, it gets annoying when the enemy is not really having some sort of plan around it. But what you really can do is to realize that, you know what, these weapons work in this way and you can't really do anything about this, so you just gotta move on, give out the lovely information to your teammates, and try and, if it might happen in the future, predict that it might happen so that you won't run into the same mistake again. I mean, after all, it's not a smart thing to run into the scope of an AWPer now, is it? So yeah, these things being said, let's move over then to alternate things that are also important, and that would be the score in the CSGO in general. Many people have been talking about the stats that you are getting, the scoreboard whenever you are playing, and I gotta be honest, personally speaking, I have never like truly considered the stats as they work in this game and as they have in general been working out for the longest of time in games. I'm not really taking them as seriously as many people do. For example, assists and kill to death ratio and all these things. I mean, I guess early on, KD is a decent, very vague per se, measurement of your skill level, so that's all good and fine and stuff, but when it comes down to nitpicky, gritty things, it doesn't really tell the entire story. The best example I got is when people are playing with, for example, a very overpowered weapon in the games like Call of Duty, and they are boasting about how they're doing well. I always challenge myself in those games, which was kind of interesting because that actually made me way better of a player, in which made it so that my first rank I got when I started to play CSGO landed on Nova 4 instead of any lower rank, which is very useful considering it's a very skill-based game I'm playing right here, right? And Call of Duty clearly was not. The best example is that I decided to use weapons that were incredibly underpowered, only had kill potential up close and such things, in which that really broadened my perspective of how to play games. But all this being stated, it only is kind of important to recognize how stats works, because then you can learn how they are shit. The best example will be how an assist works. An assist can be as little as calling to your teammate that there are somebody in an area that you just saw, thus meaning that your teammate can prepare for said kill exactly when and where, or vaguely, and he can now deal with the situation. And that's aside from tactical calls, in which can outright make you win an entire round. And even if you then make one perfect fucking call and you don't get a single kill, don't you deserve some sort of assist, like kind of type score thing on the scoreboard? I mean, come on, it's getting kind of silly. And the worst part, I think, is that when you deal 10 points or 11 points of damage to an enemy, and then a teammate with an M4A1 is able to only shoot one bullet at the enemy, and it's right before the enemy got to shoot his AK, that means that the guy with the shit weapon, or the weapon that shouldn't win a gunfight, is winning the gunfight regardless. So I mean, when you take a look at it from that perspective, doesn't the person that were able to only deal 10 points of damage to the enemy, doesn't he deserve an assist? So I mean, these factors when you're playing CSGO, they're really kind of fucked, and Valve should in some sort of way try and maybe deal with it. Not that it is going to universally be like a completely perfect system, because that's impossible really. Perfect within anything is impossible, as I there throw a beautifully imperfect flashback. But yeah, I guess you guys can get the gist of this video. It is to try and ignore the factors that are a little bit obscure, crazy, maybe they're a little bit too wild to even take into account, in which when these things happen, you just really gotta rock on and try focus on the things that do matter, which will be to not rage when you get no-scoped up close, which will be to take the practice properly and seriously, and just try and get that lovely zen focus as you're playing, because in the longer run that is only going to make you better, and it will not derail you, which is something that is very important, as a bomb bug there fucks me over, but I still were able to get a lot of kills there. But yeah, like, getting derailed when you're deathmatching, especially emotionally and mentally speaking, it's not really helpful when you are playing, trying to win, and such things. As we here are just about able to even it up, as I also kill my teammate and fuck up my 30 bomb. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, yeah, here are 2 related videos if you want to get smarter or better at the game. That being said, if you guys want to support this YouTube channel, I would recommend that, considering I'm the guy doing everything around here, and I finally now, I'm just about done dealing with this annoying version of Windows. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyways, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and don't get beastified when you play.